Hello everybody, I am Duffy Duck here once again and I'm back from the Merxy Toys and welcome back to my last play of Marbles Balance Challenge for the Nintendo Wii. So last time we actually did finish Chill Mountain, and today for this episode we're about to continue and go ahead and explore World 5. Oh wait, yeah, as you can probably imagine, if you actually get into World 5, that means there does say event on here, meaning we can't go into there just yet because, as you can see, one of the hidden worlds actually contain the submarine icons, meaning that there's going to be submarine parts in these type of levels, meaning that it was on level 1. Alright, so here we go. A dreamy island made of sweets, careful not to get cavities. So yes, we're about to be exploring these 3 hidden worlds. Well, mostly we're going to be tackling for just only one level for the time being. So in this case, meaning that we've unlocked the first level in each secret world. So, yeah, here we go, on to Candy Island 1. It looks very familiar because of this little tower, seems like it. Now, if you're familiar of the first Coral Ripper game, which was, well, you know, and basically, this world is actually equivalent to Candyland from the first game. But except the only difference is that the background environment is actually a lot different. It's got all these familiar biscuits in the background. And even though the platforms themselves do look exactly like the ones in the original Coral Ripper counterpart. So basically, it's pretty much Candyland Mark II, but it's called Candy Island in here. So look, there's that Anthony cameo who makes an appearance in this level. In fact, there are only like 2 of those. Now, for these Storm Temple parts, as far as getting those in the extra levels, I don't think getting those don't count because of the tally of the Storm Temple parts you collected throughout the main quest. You don't necessarily have to collect these Storm Temple parts. I mean, they're there just to be curiosity, but the fact is, when you're trying to collect one, that does not count for actually just to do a 100% completion profile. So yeah, we'll save this world for any time soon, so because of that, we haven't unlocked all of the levels in that world. And speaking of such, let's head into the next hidden world, which was Haunted House. Even though I forgot to read the description of it, but don't worry, I will throughout in the next video. So, anyway, Haunted House. Basically a spooky themed level, seems like it, because it has all of these haunted trees and as well as the pumpkins, as what the loading screen actually says on the display. So, yeah, so let's get into it, shall we? Oh, great, I actually just slipped off of that platform. Hold on, let me try to take a shortcut. Booyah, how's that? Anyway, and as far as this level is concerned, that the main gimmick of this is by basically going through those invisible paths. Like, you can clearly see them right now, but as soon as about a few seconds later, then it'll vanish, and you have to figure out which is the correct pathway you need to go through, so honestly, this level's not too bad though. So, and there's this Storm Temple part, it's just gonna be hidden just in here. But again, just like Candy Island, you don't have to necessarily collect all of these Storm Temple parts in these extra worlds. I mean, the only main focus of getting these Storm Temple parts is the main worlds. So, yeah. Oh, looks like I got another bronze trophy. Seriously. And we actually got these 2 items for the importancy for as we actually progress through each of the worlds, or in this case the World 5. The Candy Island one we actually got is the can, and the first level of Haunted House we actually got is the periscope. And I wonder what item we can get in the city level, although granted though, that's what Anthony was saying on the previous episode, if you watch that cutscene, that oh crud, I've completely forgot about what the item we can get after doing so. So, here we are at the city level 1. If you remember from Daytown, from the first Coral Ripper game. Oh, god damn it, I got crushed. Anyway, if you were very familiar with the first Coral Ripper game, also from the first Coral Ripper game, and there's a Storm Temple part right there, but again, I don't think it's necessary to grab that, because again, it's nothing too important with the extra stages. But I mean, even then, at least if you could try while doing those. But I think it only counts as for the other difficulty, well, except easy mode. So yeah, well, I'll explain about what the next difficulty after when you complete the main quest. So yeah, that's what I was gonna figure out mentioning from that. So there we go. And then we actually completed the city level number 1, and we actually only got about 3 bronze trophies, and we got a screw. So now we got all three of these parts. As soon as we exit out the city level map, that somehow the game will tell us that we'll automatically go into the ocean treasure, which is this World 5's name. No, that's talent. You got all of the submarine parts? Well, of course. Just fuse them together at the junk factory to build a submarine. So yeah, before we get into that, we need to go ahead and get back into Anthony's house, because that's the next thing we're about to do. And then that's what he suggested, that we need to get into the junk factory. And meaning that we can actually fuse those items together, well, just actually go ahead and select Fuse Vehicle. Yeah, you can actually fuse these 3 parts all at once. So, yeah. And then I actually got these modes for whatever reason, but oh well though. At least it's pretty cool to actually unlock those. This is where you actually fuse those mini parts, which I'm not gonna go for that. But instead we can fuse the vehicles themselves. So let's put in a cam, periscope, and screw, and we fuse them together by pushing this button. Well, just if you actually use the pointer in the first place. And then as soon as these items are fused, now we can actually have ourselves a submarine. And plus, not to mention though, in addition to having a submarine, now we can get into World 5, which was known as Ocean Treasure, as I said before. So yeah, for the other standpoint is that we seem to halfway done with this game already, even though that, again, much like the first game, it does have some short moments as human now, but at least I do enjoy it so far. So now we're gonna go inside the ocean. And we'll watch that cutscene where Anthony decides to go and jump into the submarine, and we're about to dive in. This scene does remind me of the cutscene from Super Monkey Ball 2 when we actually deployed Dr. Bad Boom's little blimp with the powerful bob-omb. Well, at least for Gongon has actually punched it. But before we get into that, I need to read the description of this world actually tells us about. So where's World 5? Oh, there it is. What treasures could be resting beneath the deep blue sea? Oh, gee, I wonder why. But we might as well have to figure out for the time. So here we go, on to world number 5, Ocean Treasure. So this world kind of reminds me of the underwater world from Super Monkey Ball 1 and Under the Ocean from Super Monkey Ball 2. So yeah, this world's very similar to that regard. So since after all we actually been into just a typical grassy field level in the first level, which is the empty lot, and then inside the house in Neighbor's house in the second world, and the desert level so far in the Sizzling Desert, and we actually been into the snowy level so far in Chill Mountain, and now we're in the underwater level, which was Ocean Treasure. So that's basically all we can get. So as far as you guys should know, that it might actually contain a lot of new obstacles along the way, so, and plus not to mention there's going to be lot of tricky segments to deal with in this place, so that's all we can notice from the beginning part. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of emphasis on tricky green crystal locations, and some tricky stump tumble parts we need to actually collect, and then plus not to mention that it will be kind of like a bit of a trial and error situation like this. So, but even then, we seem to all halfway done with this game already, so don't worry, things are going to get even a bit more fast than you think about it. But thanks to the limited amount of time that I usually have every nowadays. So yeah, as far as that goes, you probably expected by now that I could do a although, granted, I can't do a remake playthrough on Donkey Kong Country, no, Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, because I believe that I always been in every single videos from this entirety of this year so far, which is insanely crazy. I mean, even then, Mario was although technically Mario was on it so far, and then Sonic was barely there, and then even then, me and Twilight Sparkle are still going to be continuing Banjo-Kazooie. So unless someone some toys else can do the remade playthrough of Donkey Kong Jungle Beat anytime soon. But not now though, until when some of these playthroughs have been done and over with. So, don't worry, we will get a chance to, you guys might actually get a chance to see that. So, but the only pointless part is that it might actually take my views away, just because even then the quality itself is a bit passable at first, but it's just a pain in the bum to set up. So, as for this point and onwards, is that since I got a capture card, or we got a capture card after all, that will make the quality itself look a bit more good and great at the same time. So, don't worry, we will get a chance to when we get to it. So, yeah. Alright, so here we go with level 2. We actually, almost spent around 11 minutes at the beginning part of this world already, just because of the secret worlds we could have been into first glance. So, there's gonna be a lot of times we're gonna be, backtrack a little bit to actually explore those other different worlds that this game has to offer. So there's gonna be still plenty of times that it's gonna be a lot of backtrack heavy. So yeah, as far as you guys can tell from that part, or in this case, well, I don't know. Okay, if you approach to this side, there's a green crystal. So that will be a kind of an ordeal way. So now let's press A to restart on where the checkpoint is. Now we need to go for these little curvy, tricky parts. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of weird momentum going on, so let's go ahead and just carefully... Oh, don't want to touch those spikes because otherwise we will end up dying on that part, so let's go ahead and... No! Ah, stupid little... Ugh. I really like the music of this world though. It does reminds me of something related to likely just borrowed from the other games. In fact, I believe one of those Nintendo games they actually released is actually Endless Ocean series, mainly the first one and the second one. I haven't owned those games, it's just whenever I heard from it, I do think it does seem to think that it almost seemed to think that it was an underwater simulator. So the one with the scuba diver is actually maneuvering around the coral reef and as well as the under the sea in general. But it's pretty cool to actually just to look at it. So, including the Echo the Dolphin series on the Sega systems. I mean, granted, there's only 4 of them so far, which was Echo the Dolphin on the Mega Drive, and then there's also the sequel of Echo Tiles of Time, which is also on the Mega Drive, and then Echo Junior, which is a preschool version of somewhat very similar to the Echo, the first Echo game. And then there's also Echo Defender of the, like, Echo the Dolphin Defenders or something like that for the Dreamcast. Again, I haven't exactly know what that title is named, so I guess I just have somehow apologized for that part. Alright, here we go, on to level 3 of Ocean Treasure. So let's go ahead and just carefully maneuvering around the stage, so that's all there is to it. So, a few things I just want to briefly mention to you guys about Stuffing is that, oh gosh. Thank you, Green Cube, for actually helping me to actually just stop bouncing. Anyways, 2 things I want to mention about Stuffing is that, recently, I recently played myself a next Legend of Zelda game so far because I was going to be tackling for my own time just to complete those Zelda games until the next Zelda game for the Wii U will be launched in some time. In fact, the development is still continually making it, but as soon as the development is done, once I completed all sorts of Zelda titles, that might be a perfect timing for me just to actually go ahead and just get into the Wii U installment of the Zelda for the Wii U, and... Oh, darn it! Ah. Shoot. I did not meant to do that. Because yes, in this level, that I seem to missed out the green crystal on that level, so... Yeah, just like in the MT loss, I might actually have to cut it until at the end of this episode. So, don't worry, I will get a chance to grab it. So don't panic. This wasn't over yet. So, Alright, there's gonna be a lot of times there's gonna be some tricky segments like this one, so there's gonna be a lot of times when that happens, so anyway. So, the recent Zelda game I was going to be playing, although granted, I've actually completed The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass in the past few weeks. The next Zelda game I might actually go ahead and tackle for my own time is The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks, which was the second installment of the DS installment of the Legend of Zelda series. So I figure I might actually go ahead and say that I might actually trying to complete the DS Zelda games first. Oh, darn it, the crushing platform just catch me off guard right there. And speaking of the Legend of Zelda, that I actually download a new Zelda game on the, well, in fact the old games per se, but I did download it on the Nintendo 3DS eShop Virtual Console release. That was actually The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX. Now the reason why I decided to got that is because the DX version of Link's Awakening is the definitive version of the game because it has some plenty of contents than the ones in the original Game Boy version. And two, that I think the price on the 3DS Virtual Console games on the Game Boy Color looks a bit cheaper than the actual cartridge of it. Although, granted though, I could go for the cartridge itself, but the thing is though, sometimes, especially apparently when you're trying to buy the Game Boy cartridge games, is that although this is pretty especially noticeable when if you're trying to purchase the Pokemon game or something like that, that it can be kind of luck based if you're actually trying to figure out which is the fake copy or the real copy of the game, just because if the fake copy was apparent, that this meaning that you can't save, but if it's a real cover, if it's a real cartridge version, then basically it'll just allows you to save the game at any time. So there's gonna be a lot of times where there's a lot of people seem to actually encounter the Pokemon fake copy cartridges. So especially noticeable in the GBA versions, although not too bad on the DS counterparts because the DS installments, you don't have yourselves a little bit of a situational where you can actually get it from that, but then yeah. Okay, so we need to be very careful right there because this stupid slant is trying to slip me off, and there's gonna be a lot of springs in this level, so keep that in mind that springs can be uncontrollable, especially noticeable if you're actually trying to get into the other side of the level itself, but oh well though. Okay, so let's go ahead and carefully not to fall off in this level, and there's a Stomp Temple part right there, and before we actually do anything else, let's go ahead and grab this crystal, and we can end the level off here. So, but even then I've already got the green crystal, so yeah. And still no trophy on this world so far, so at least 3 bronze trophies I actually attained in this video at least. So anyway, here we are on to level 6, which will be involving the fire and ice tiles. So yes, we're gonna have to carefully maneuver, don't touch the lava because that will instantly KO you, instantly kills you. And then there's also some ice slippery tiles which you also need to avoid, so that's the one reason you should able to be careful with. Right, so there's gonna be a checkpoint around here, in fact there's a checkpoint just right over there, so not too shabby for that part, so yeah. Okay, right off the bat, there's a Stomp Temple part just right onto this narrow path, including this orange crystal, which I might as well get. As soon as I actually be careful in maneuvering with my Wii Remote controller, so my motion controls doesn't scoot up. But at least we're halfway done with this world so far, so there's a green crystal right there, so you have to be very, very careful on this part, so just in case you won't die from those fire tiles. And there we go, and the end of the level is just right onto the south, at least for this little path. So yeah, it's pretty easy though. So let's see what trophy I can attain. I got the bronze trophy still, but at least even then, that it can be quite tricky just to deal with some speedrun formations and stuff like that. So here we go, on to level 7, where I believe we got ourselves a new type of gimmick to deal with. So yeah, that might be pretty pleasant to see for this part. So, alright, so let's grab these orange crystals here, and I didn't mean to flick that. That's kind of my fault. And I believe, if I remember rightly, oh god, those bumpers are trying to mess up my move. I believe right off the bat, from at the beginning of this level, seems like it, that we're gonna come across into the Stomp Temple part, which we're about to grab. And plus, not to mention, there's gonna be a green crystal located in this part of the level somewhere. In fact, I might actually go ahead and just try to be very careful, don't touch the spikes, so that you get killed by these things easily. Yeah, if you carefully maneuver in this narrow path, then oh, gotcha. Alright. Now let's go backtrack a little bit, and we can continue. So, yeah, right off the bat, there's 2 collectibles in this section here, so, yeah, not too shabby. Okay, so let's use that. Yeah, if you tilt the Wiimote a bit far, then that will actually access you to these little rotation platforming type of syndromes like this one. So, I believe that in the later worlds that, although not so much of that though, but at least we actually counted one already from the... Oh gosh, it's the crushing block segment. But at least I got a checkpoint now, so... Hey, at least I'll take it, I suppose. But at least we only got about 2 orange crystals left, so... This part wasn't too bad, but the other 2, which we're heading to right now, it can be quite tricky, because you have to be really, really fast. Especially noticeable... Oh, you looping... Ah. Let's try again. Okay, so let's be pretty much precise here, so... Okay, come on then, shifting blocks. Show me what you got right there. Oh, I don't want to touch the portal, because if I accidentally touch that right there, that means I have to restart where the checkpoint is. So, yeah, just like the first game, in order to actually get to the end, you need to collect all of the orange crystals. So that's all you essentially deal with this. So, and we actually got a whole bunch of secret levels we've actually unlocked, and so as we actually progress through each of the level. Oh wait, Ocean Treasure number 8. So, yeah, we only got about 4 levels to go here until Ocean Treasure is done. So even then, this world is kind of tricky at first glance. So I mean, even then, I really enjoyed this music, especially noticeable in this the 3rd variation of this this world music. So hey, I don't mind about it too much. Okay, make sure I get into the funnel correctly. There we go. So yeah, as far as you guys suggested by now, that a lot of people, oh gosh, I think I actually discovered that I actually bypassed and completely ignored the green crystal right off the bat. So let's just hurry the hell out of it, and booyah. And luckily though, that you don't have to collect it again. Alright, so here's these little contraptions right here. If you stand on one of those, that will actually traverse the level into the upside down, topsy-turvy type of mode. So now, technically, when underneath the flat surfaces right there, including some platforms with that as well. So that's actually pretty cool. And there's a Stomp Temple part. If you want to grab it, then by all means, grab it. And the end of the level is just right there. So yeah, not too bad of a level though. But it's just the green crystal that you need to actually keep an eye out, because especially noticeable if you're actually trying to be really fast on that part, because although granted, if you actually touch the switch by accident, then you'll fling off to the level. Although granted though, you don't have lives at all, so you can fall out as many times as you want. So anyway, am I missing something? Of course there is, the green crystal itself. Alright, so let's go ahead and not to fall off like an idiot, like this for instance. Okay, so granted though, we're almost done with here, so here we have ourselves a little metallic looking fences right here since Chill Mountain, so it's been a while since we actually saw these. And then we can actually go ahead and grab a checkpoint, because checkpoints are always handy. So let's hurry this up, and grab the checkpoint, another checkpoint, and don't knock this thing over because you need to be super slow, until you actually reach up there, because you might as well get yourselves a Storm Temple part from the get-go. So how about that? And we knock this over, and we can actually continue and drop all the way to the Gore Wars as soon as you actually knock this thing down. So that's actually pretty nifty. Alright, level 10 if I do remember rightly, which sure enough there is. Well, this level's not too much to deal with in this place. I gotta say this much. Besides, this level actually has springs, so there's gonna be a lot of times there's gonna be uncontrollable moments with these springs contraptions, I gotta say this much, but sometimes I have to deal with those. So, let's just get this over with. So, there's a Storm Temple part from the get-go, so that's actually good to notice that. That was actually already there. Okay. Oh god. Grab the... Ah, darn it! Stupid springs. Stupid springs. In fact, because of the, how you can't really get some lot of momentum if you actually hop into the springs. Although you can do that, but at the same time, it will be kind of fidgety sometimes, especially when you're trying to grab the checkpoints. Like, I almost barely touched the checkpoint, and then the spring decides to actually fling me off the level. So, what goods? So anyways, let's hop into the spring. Just be sure to be careful. So, there we go. Now I'm there. So, now we only have left is just one orange crystal, and plus the green crystals down where the cannon is, which, if you might as well guessed it by now, is actually in here. Oh, crud. I forgot there was actually a little platform over there. Jeez, I'm an idiot. Ah, freaking fence. Knock me off to the side or something. So, let's try this again. Hopefully, I will manage to successful this time. If I'm hoping I might actually... There we go. Now I've done it. Alright, so... Gradually, we haven't done with this world just yet, because we only got one more level to deal with, and that was the challenge stage. So... Don't worry, we'll tackle for that part. So, let's go ahead and let's just double check if we actually missed something. In fact, as I said earlier, I think I actually missed up the green crystal. So don't worry, I'll grab it at the end of this video. So don't worry, I will grab as much as I can. So, yeah, here we go. Level 11 of Ocean Treasure. So, yeah, let's see how this level plays out then, shall we? So, we got ourselves a little platforms that we actually discovered from before, but there's going to be a lot of main focus with this now, so... Oh, there's a little bit of tricky part. Ah, god, I forgot about that. It does have a hole inside, so... My bad if I do say so from this part. So... Yeah, it does feel underwhelming at first glance, I've got to say this much, so... Yeah, okay, let's carefully maneuver for this part until it does work. Oh, there's a checkpoint. Oh, darn it. Hi. I don't know why I just did that right there. In fact, that literally trying to waste my time on this level. I think I might actually waste it for about a minute in this level, expecting that there was a checkpoint. There we go. Alright, so again, you don't have to worry about the green crystals, so including the Storm Temple parts, so it's just only collecting orange crystals. So yeah, that's all you can do. Alright, let's grab that and roll down carefully, so just in case I won't manage to mess everything up from this. And carefully, there we go. And we finished with Ocean Treasure, so not too bad of a world, I might say, but it can be quite tricky sometimes. And we got a new ball, which apparently is to be the Inglobe fish. Some little cute little fishes in the loading screen. And we actually access to all 6. You need to upgrade the submarine to a spaceship for the space station area. To make a spaceship, you need to fuse together the following 3 parts. So, you still have a submarine with you, but we actually got ourselves, we need rocket engine and wings. So these are the only 2 upgrades you need to get. And I put that on the mark on the world map so that you can find it. Okay. So, immediately, you actually unlock the Haunted House level 5 and City level 5. So, or in this case, level 6. I'm actually confused at this point. So, we're gonna have to finish this video here. So next time on Let's Play Marbles Balance Challenge is that we're about to be finding those parts for actually access to the spaceship. So see you guys next time. Later, fellas. So, yeah, it's kind of awkward right there. So anyways, and then we can actually hopefully gain access to World 6 eventually. So yeah, see you guys then. Later, fellas. So yeah. And then hopefully I might grab that. So anyway, see you then. Sorry about that. Kind of feel awkward right there. In this case, an awkward ending right there. But yeah. There's no way I'm gonna touch that goal. But I'm mostly cared about is the green crystal right there.